This is our CNC bender. This is a 6-inch die, and the length on the end that we need is about 4 inches right here for the arm to grab the tube. And then from the die, about 11 or 12 inches to the chuck. So each tube that we notch has to have that length on either one side of the tube in order for the notcher to cut the tube and then still have length for the tube to bend it. So in our software ADS, we've added a feature that lets you extend the length of an end tube with tabs. Here's an example of a part made with the tab extensions. So this is the front bumper for our kit car, and the bottom hoop has a bend that's within the minimum range, but we still have this notch with tabs, little tabs. And the tube was cut with an extension so that it could fit in the bender. The chuck could grab the extension, and then the notch was floating in space here, and we could still run the bend and then cut the extension off with a little hacksaw or a small hand tool. And then we can have the part that we wanted with all of the bends and then still keep the notch geometry cut. This is the latest version of ADS 1.3.69. We're going to model a notch extension so that we can fit a tube in a CNC bender with a bend close to the end. In this example, we have a tube with a bend in it, and we have this end length we want to notch with a complex feature around a tube, but it's too close to the bend, so we need to extend the length. In this case, I'm going to select the tube. I want to generate the notch, so I click Notch, Angle. Now I have the notch profile around the tube, but this won't fit in the CNC bender. So what I need to do is select the tube and edit it. Oh, also the notch generated this artifact, so we're just gonna delete that. Now back to the tube, I select Object, Edit. Now this is the end that I want to extend, so I'm gonna select the end point. And then I'm going to hold the Shift key and drag so that it stays in plane. Now I drag it until I get the length that I need so that it will fit in the bender, and I click OK. Now the notch profile, the complete notch would cut the tube in half, but we don't want that. We want tabs. So we're going to use this new tool, Perforate Notch. So I'm going to click on this, and it splits the notch into 4 parts with a gap between them, so it's going to leave some metal that will leave this extension connected. So we can fixture this in the bender and then we can cut it. And now we also need to cap the ends of the tube, so I'm going to select it and then click on the notch ends. So it adds these notches at the end, and it will cut this part, leaving these tabs. I can fit it in the bender, use these bend markings for positioning, and then cut and bend the part. So to do that, I click on Cam, Export ArcTube G-code, enter the attributes for the machine, and then do the same for the bend if I have a CNC bender. And you can also generate PDF documents for notching and bending. So if you don't have a CNC bender, you can print the instructions, and it will include the length of stock that you need, and then markers for the rotation, bend angle, and distance offsets. And the notch is just good for reference. It'll include all of the features that need to be cut, but it's best to cut this with a CNC tube notcher. And that's it for today.